Hey guys, we got a question here from Abhishek Singh 1707 on the Instagrams. He's actually got two questions, so I'm going to put them into the same video for our man Abhishek. I've answered this question before, but I'm going to get into it again because sometimes you miss my videos. So guys, if you're here on YouTube, I know some of these videos are uploaded to my Facebook fan page. What you do is use the search button on my YouTube channel and type in whatever you're looking for. Bodybuilding, powerlifting, mental toughness, strength coach business, whatever it is that you're looking for, search that topic. And this question is, and like I said, it's answered before, so check out the previous answers. Abhishek wants to know, how do I know when to start using a weightlifting belt? Is there any particular weight that I should start hitting before I even touch the belt? Thanks. I know you've answered this question before, but some more info will be awesome. So he's a returning listener and learner. So Abhishek, yes, I used to not wear a weightlifting belt. Probably stopped wearing that weightlifting belt right when I began that transition of leaving the Globo gyms and training on my own out of my parents' garage. So when I was a bodybuilder, I would wear a weightlifting belt pretty much all the time during like big lifts. So if I was doing the bench press, I had those little bodybuilding weight belts. They were like a 4-inch belt, but they did offer some support, little leather belts, squatting, Romanian deadlifting, overhead pressing. I wore a weightlifting belt for them. Then I went for a really long time without wearing a weight belt, mainly because I couldn't find one that felt comfortable and allowed me to move. I had purchased several of those powerlifting weight belts that were extremely thick and rigid. And I remember a couple years ago, I spoke with Mark Smelly Bell about this. I said, man, it was the seminar that nobody knows about. When Mark Bell and Jesse Burdick did a seminar at my Edison Underground Strength Gym, it was absolutely amazing, and we couldn't even fucking give that seminar away. We couldn't give it away while also washing their cars and mowing their lawn. People wouldn't show up. But my God, whoever missed it, and that's about everybody in the world, it was the best damn seminar ever. But I'll tell you about the weight belt story that day is we were building up to 1 rep max on the deadlift. I wasn't wearing a belt, I think my last set was a 455 or a 475, and then we put 505 on the bar, and I can't remember if it was Smelly or Jesse, but they said, go ahead and put that belt on, and Jesse cinched that belt on me super, super tight. And I felt that tension of where my stomach and my back were bracing against the weight belt. It didn't feel super comfortable, but what does feel comfortable when you're maxing out? I don't think anything does. And so in a nutshell, like I've said before, you want to wear a weight belt when you're approaching those heavy, heavy lifts that are really pushing the limits of what you can do, not what somebody else could do. I finally did find a weight belt that I love. I even have one at each of my gyms, and it's the Rogue leather belt, the Rogue weightlifting belt. I love it. So I now use it when I'm at about 60 to 70% of my lifts, and I use it for squatting and deadlifting movements. I haven't used it for bent over rowing, but I have tweaked my lower back in the past during deadlifts, and now that I wear this belt, I feel tighter, like I'm bracing even better. And I feel like my abs are actually working quite hard while I have that weight belt on. So here's the bottom line is if you're unsure of whether you should wear a weightlifting belt for that set, then I would say yes, put on the weightlifting belt because you're better safe than sorry. And the last thing you want to do is have an injury that you're nursing that halts your progress. So Abhishek, put on that weightlifting belt once you start approaching some challenging weights. And do it to support your back. It makes you get very tight. And on the follow-up to that answer is also make sure the belt is comfortable. So like I said, those powerlifting belts I was buying before I did not like very much. But the Rogue leather belt, I love it. And I've got I know they have a new one out that's black. Mine is the brownish tan leather belt. And let's get to your next question, Abhishek. And this is for MMA athletes. Says, for MMA athletes, other than having a killer attitude, what exercises, reps, sets, and MMA/gym split would you recommend? Thank you. So that's great, and I know you've probably been following my videos. You know that I talk about mindset being such a critical factor amongst them. MMA fighters who are really spending a lot of time doing their MMA training. So they're doing their jiu-jitsu, they're doing their Muay Thai, their stand-up work, they're doing boxing work. They tend to have multiple coaches. Believe it or not, I would just have an MMA fighter train with me once or twice a week. I would study their performance to see where they're lagging, and if I feel that they're lagging in conditioning, then I'm going to add some conditioning work to the end of strength work or do strength endurance workouts. If I feel they're too weak, then I know my focus will be on strength. Some of these MMA fighters, they have great conditioning because of their sparring and their aggressive skill practice. When you do a lot of Muay Thai training and speed drilling and jiu-jitsu and boxing, that builds your wind tremendously. So they may not need more wind, but I would do things such as Zercher squats, deadlifting, farmer walks, or like Louis Simmons does, farmer walk coupled with a sled attached around the waist. So I would be doing these things, low reps on our squatting, power cleans, and deadlifting, and then timed sets on things like sled drags, farmer walks, and I would implement some circuit of strength endurance. So things like you're going to do a sled drag for 2 or 3 minutes, then you're going to do a farmer walk for 2 or 3 minutes, then you're going to do sledgehammer work for maybe 30 seconds, and then switch the top hand for 30 seconds. Then you're going to throw a medicine ball for distance, rep after rep for maybe a minute. So I'm going to do things that might be 5 minutes in length or 10 minutes in length, depending on the rounds that they fight. So I'm going to study what is required of them, and then I'm going to attack their weak areas. Not so much the weak areas in the, what are you weak on in the gym? I'm going to look at their performance in their MMA fights, see where they tend to lose matches, lose fights, and then I'm going to create a protocol that matches that. But very likely it'll be just 1 or 2 workouts a week and probably like 30 or 40-minute sessions. Why? Because what's super important is that the training does not interfere with their MMA performance. Hope that helps, guys. If you want more training from me, go to GarageGymAthletes.com. That's where I've got a training program that gets delivered to you every week. It's 3 workouts a week. You can test your exercises. You can program. The whole program is there, but you can follow what other people are doing on our team, and you can track all your sets, reps, the weight that's lifted. There's a test portion to each daily workout that I give you, 3 of the workouts per week, and it's awesome. It takes the guesswork out of it, and I always believe in having a coach. Obviously, having coaches from a sport background, I've always had that, but I even do it with my lifting, with my nutrition now, with business, I've always done it. Having a coach takes you to that next level, builds accountability, it builds inspiration because you don't want to let the other person down, and with GarageGymAthletes.com, there is a leaderboard, so you're competing not just against yourself, but competing against others, and that's pretty inspiring. So I'll see you guys over there. Peace.